I wanted to continue the track by inviting Riyadh Drebika to the stage to talk about reimagining game design uh, via voice AI.
All right, reimagining gaming using voice AI. My name is Riyadh Drebika. I'm hoping this is a little bit of a different angle on the AI talk that Fabian just gave and just kind of what the discussions will be today, and hopefully spark some new ideas for your products potentially. I'm going to talk a bit about my company, Volley. What is voice AI gaming? Designing for voice and why it's exciting, and where voice AI gaming is going in my opinion. So yeah, we're called Volley, voice AI gaming company based in San Francisco. My name is Riyadh Drebika. I'm director of product over there. And our games can be found today on Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, Fire TV, Roku's, iOS, and Android platforms. We have a number of the most popular games on voice-enabled platforms, including some great IP partnerships like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, The Price is Right. Started in 2016 by Max Child and James Wilsterman. And at the start, we were primarily focused on games for Amazon Alexa, and that still really represents a huge amount of our user base. 5 years ago, we were 4 people working out of an apartment. And today we're about 75 people, and luckily not in that apartment anymore. So what is voice AI gaming? What does it mean? Well, we build games that a user controls with their voice, and ideally games that would not be as fun without that interaction and would not even be able to exist without voice. And one of our earliest and still most successful voice games is Song Quiz. And it's a Name That Tune game where a user hears a clip and they get to speak out loud the name of the artist and the title of the song, and you can play against friends. And I have a TikTok video here to show the gameplay on Alexa, and hopefully the sound is not too loud. Oh, not too loud. Can we get some sound on that?
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play.
Welcome to Atlanta, Jermaine Dupri.
Walk around frustrated, patience getting short. How longer can you tolerate it? Listen, mom, I'm just motivated. I do this.
Does anyone know that one? Maybe if you give it to me. They don't know it either. So on the technical side, we run a custom voice AI game engine and proprietary natural language processing to create experiences like this and on all the platforms. So why voice gaming has always been AI driven. There's a lot of AI talk. Kind of sounds like we just threw it in with the voice thing, but voice gaming actually only exists with AI, and all voice interactions basically only exist with AI, at least how we see them today. Machine learning algorithms have been trained on huge data sets to be able to recreate, recognize, and interpret human speech patterns. And that's kind of breaking down those parts. We have text to speech, so this is kind of the familiar, I write something, Alexa says it, user says something, I prompt it with some more text, they say it for me. Speech to text, so this is kind of how you dictate to your phone or see closed captioning these days. We can identify letters, words, and then sentences on top of that. And really how it all comes together to work, though, is the user intent idea. This is the layer on top of recognition that allows for natural, intuitive interactions. What's the user trying to achieve right now? And the words that they're saying might not give us that exact answer, so we need to figure out their intent, and that's where the larger models come into play. Text to speech is the best place to demonstrate right here, kind of the progression of voice AI over the last few years. Fabian and I were actually talking about this earlier a little bit. So after Alexa, which I think we're all probably familiar with, Polly came out, which was a suite of voices from Amazon that we were able to start using, and I have an example of that one.
From Volley Games, this is Jeopardy. Welcome. You know how we play it. We provide the categories and the answers, and then it's up to you to give us the right questions.
Somewhere after that, Google came around with WaveNet. They had a different model, a different take on how to do this, and we got another suite of voices, something
From
around
Volley
this.
Games, this is Jeopardy! Welcome! You know how we play it. We provide the categories and the answers, and then it's up to you to give us the right questions.
And just this year, I started working with a company called 11 Labs, and now we're working with voices like this.
From Volley Games, this is Jeopardy! Welcome! You know how we play it. We provide the categories and the answers, and then it's up to you to give us the right questions.
I don't know if that voice sounds familiar to anyone, but that's actually modeled off of me. Probably a little bit more of an excited version of my voice. But as you get, I mean, this was a big jump forward for us, and it wasn't just 11 Labs. It's kind of this new era of this ability. They are doing it very well, and you can hear that the talking robot concept is it's fading away. It's not 100%, but it's getting pretty close, and it's becoming indistinguishable really to tell the difference between what's real and what's AI generated when it comes to voice. So designing for voice and why it's exciting. I want to walk through a bit how we think about designing for voice experiences. There's some questions that we always ask ourselves, but often when explaining the basic idea of voice AI gaming, a brand partner or an acquaintance at a party will say something, ask me a question like, well, how do you play Fortnite or Candy Crush using your voice? And for now, the answer is that's not what we're doing. We ask the question of, based on the device and the user, would a user be willing to use their voice? And what experience can we bring to the table that you can't do without voice? So ideally, we're adding, like I said, a layer of fun and a layer of interaction that just doesn't exist without this tool. So we started with smart speakers. We asked that question, would a user be willing to use their voice? Of course, they've already bought into an ecosystem. They're already saying to us by owning this device that they're willing to use their voice. On top of it, we know they're probably in their home. They're in a place that speaking out loud is probably not an issue. And then what experiences make sense? So there are some other considerations when looking at something like Alexa or Google Home, these smart speakers. A user probably isn't sitting and staring at a speaker with all their attention focused on it. It's not a mobile phone. They could be washing dishes and using the speaker in their kitchen or getting ready for work, and they got the speaker in their bedroom. And at the end of the day, it is a speaker. There's a lot of screened versions now, but originally these are speakers. And most users have a speaker, they're going to play music on it. So we thought to ourselves, what if playing music was a game? And that's kind of the concept and the thought pattern that brought Song Quiz to life. Over the last few years, we've been focused on mobile. And so we asked that same question, would a user be willing to use their voice? And if you're commuting, you're on a packed train, you're probably not yelling out song titles to yourself, some people, but probably not the general audience. But when you're making a phone call, you're already inherently using your voice. That's what these devices were designed for way back when. So we have this idea of, could we make voice games for calls, for phone calls, getting to be part of the interaction that's already existing and adding our layer on top of it. And so that's where the concept of face-off came out, and I have a demo here.
I think the title is Chandelier, but not sure who sings it. Oh! It's Sia.
And of course, this is an animation. This isn't the actual game, but it is a real game. It's out there, iOS and Android. That's live video phone call that you can play back and forth the Song Quiz experience. And it's actually a platform that we'll be releasing other voice-powered games on top of. And now connected television, so just, it's basically plain old TVs. Everyone they connect to the Wi-Fi, and they do a lot more than they used to. And that's where I'm focused and working primarily these days. And so, we asked, would a user be willing to use their voice? Easy answer is yes. They're in their home. There's probably a fine space to speak out loud. Then we start asking ourselves questions about what we could do in this space. And game shows were the first to kind of come to mind and just make sense. It's like, there's Jeopardy. People are used to watching games. Could we build an experience where they feel like they are on the game show, or at least as close as we can kind of figure it out? And I feel like we had a little bit of an extra in because current experiences, in my opinion, missed a touch of the essence just because that voice component wasn't traditionally there. So if you have the mobile Jeopardy experience, it's multiple choice, or maybe you're entering Final Jeopardy and you have to type in your answer. The product we were able to create, a user can just yell out, hey, US history 600, or have to answer in the form of a question. Kind of these essences of what a game like Jeopardy is. And so I have a demo of the Roku experience here.
Uses for arsenic, 600.
Answer there. Our daily double. You can wager up to 600. How much would you like to wager?
Let's go with $266.
Okay, you're wagering 266. Here is your clue in uses for arsenic. Around 3,500 BC people were mixing copper and arsenic to make this. They soon found copper and tin worked better.
What is bronze?
Yes, for 266.
So you can hear AI me versus real me there in that example. And AI me is a little weird, but you can hear it still does the job pretty well these days. So yeah, where AI gaming is going. Basically where we're at right now, voice-controlled experiences are becoming device agnostic. It doesn't matter what you have. If it's a new piece of tech for general use, they almost all have voice. So we have our smart speakers, our smart displays, our smart televisions, the wall displays, phones, AirPods, headsets, VR, AR, and cars. And with this new landscape, we're continuing to create new experiences. So like the face-off example, if I call my mom, we can catch up and then also play some 50s top hits. I think she would like that one. Or we can add some fun when I'm driving my kids over to the grandparents' house. Instead of just putting a podcast or a song on, we could play a round of song quiz in the car. We're looking at this idea of a shift, which gaming has always done, but now new environments, a shift from kind of a passive entertainment experience to a more interactive experience, especially in those places where driving a car isn't a place that you can have a ton of interactive experiences, but you got your ears and you have your voice, and so you can still play a game there. And on top of that, we're looking at ways to how to link these experiences together. So maybe I'm having my coffee, I'm playing Jeopardy on my Alexa in the kitchen, I jump in the car, and on the way to work, I'm playing I pick up the game and I'm playing it in my car. And then at home later that night, I'm gonna try to work, watching TV, I'm gonna try to work my way up the leaderboard before my wife and I sit down to watch the latest Succession episode. And then looking further into the future, with all the different types of devices, the screens, the different places, we are looking also at generative AI. It is a very interesting way to add more creative, unique, interactive dialogues, images, animations. And for us, we have the voice experience as our core, so we're kind of adding layers. And we do have a creative team, but can we add more and more layers using the tools that are out there with ChatGPT and others? But for those here, there may be opportunities to think about new layers of interaction in your experiences that are more voice AI based. Is there a fun way to add depth to your game using kind of parts of this new AI technology? And so to kind of bring it all together, at Volley, we're clearly excited about voice AI gaming, and we're betting on it. Voice gaming is gaining a lot of momentum. Companies like ours are building a maturing market of fun and engaging casual games that utilize voice control as key interactive aspect of their experience. And the market is growing, and I think there's a lot more to come. Thank you.
We have, there are tons of questions here, there, here. We're gonna get there.
I'm wondering, have you tried making something like a karaoke game where you can sing and your voice would come out as like Ariana Grande or something?
Yeah, we have a game on Alexa that is called Karaoke Quiz. It doesn't come out as a different person's voice, so it's using recognition to make a game out of the concept of karaoke, so you get the lyrics correct. There is a lot of, we had 2 talks earlier. There was a lot of talk around IP and legal, and there is a huge open question about emulating others' voices. There's a lot of rules around that. Yeah, that's quite, we're, for Jeopardy, we'd love to have Ken Jennings be the host and doing something like that. So that's definitely some place we're looking at. It's pretty pricey for the people that want to get into it, and also it is a bit legal. But I think, kind of a quicker path to something like that is maybe user-generated voices, allowing your voice to be in the game. Could be an interesting concept.
So I just wanted to ask about, since I saw the face-off game seems like it's a competitive one, but you're taking advantage of like 2 different devices in that case. Do you have any, otherwise it seems like there are a lot of single-player co-op kind of games that use like a single device in a space. Do you have any plans to try to do individual voice recognition for like local competitive kind of gameplay?
We definitely want, most of our single source games do have like a multiplayer aspect, and it's not ideal though, because you're taking turns, you're trading off. So I mean, in a perfect world, I think being able to sit down and play Jeopardy with your friend is the future we're looking at. How we do that is kind of a question mark still, but I think there are paths there. Definitely part of something we're interested in. I think that takes it to the next level. Being able to parse from one source to understand who the 2 people are. I don't know if we're there yet, but maybe Google can partner with us.
So I was curious, you spoke about a lot of the platform. If Android Auto and Apple, essentially if being in the car is as well the future for the company, or if you guys are working on that already or not, because that's one of the time where you could use mostly your voice and you can't really look too much.
Yeah, so we're not like ultra focused on the car experience currently. What we're looking at is a product like Face Off that might be able to bridge those gaps. Of course, you probably shouldn't be playing a video version of the game while you're driving. I'm going to say that for legal. No, but we are looking at different forms of those kind of experiences. We feel that's the gateway instead of building maybe explicitly for car, but I think we can create experiences around that.
There is one last question there.
Hi. So a lot of this is really interesting, and I was wondering if, first of all, I know I looked into your company, it looks really cool, but is any of this open source for developers to prototype games? Like, is it at that stage yet, or is it still pretty interesting?
You mean for our tools?
Yeah, your tools or any similar tools. Because like I can see me personally, as well as some developers I know, have fun creating little prototypes like ABC games, for example.
Yeah, so we have our proprietary tool set that isn't available. Maybe one day we could do that, be pretty cool. But most of the tools we're using exist in the world. Open source, there are some people doing that. I don't have the names off the top of my head. But anyone can build an Alexa skill. Using the tool, the API that Google has is out there. Most of the hardcore part of this, the processing part, is available. To get it refined and really strong, that's kind of where we bring our tools to play. How do we get recognition to be better than even maybe what Alexa offers in their tool set? But there's a lot of places to play around right now, and I would recommend, at the very least, build an Alexa skill and just give it a shot. It's not a super difficult thing, and you can kind of get the first part of that interaction. But as far as like putting it into a game, there are APIs out there available to kind of take with it and run. It's not out of the box, though. It's not going to just do it.
Well, there are more questions, but I would advise you guys meet afterwards and talk, because
I'll be around.
We're going to be here. Like, there's so much we can cover with voice that we can be here the whole day talking in the conference. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.